All right, lesson six. So this is the lesson that a lot of you have been waiting for. It is this set the break even and the trailing stop. But first things first, I need to close the loop that on what I missed out on the other video just now, the lesson five. So in here, we need to make sure that we need to adjust the sell side. So the sell side here is we need to copy, right click, copy, paste. So the difference here on the buy side compared to the sell side is that we need to flip it around because this is the lower level and the upper level. So the upper level, we would need to say that it's the Kijun Sen. Assign this, so Kijun Sen period, more settings, candle period 1, and the lower level is candle, candle close, and C period. So make sure these two are flipped around and absolute, and we are good to go. So just to double check, yep, we are good to go. Update, update. So that's how we do the sell side. So copy just to reinforce the old basics here, and we just flip the other side. Done. So this would mean that we're able to do a sell side too. And there you go. There's that one. So we can go ahead and export that and just give it a whirl. Export. Yep, give that a whirl. So here, oh, need to compile it in meta editor first. Hit F7 in the meta editor after you load it up under the experts. Then you go ahead and start it. And there we go. We have some sells, we have some buys. Seems like everything is working. Doesn't look like there's some trades that were taken above or below the baseline, and it all looks like it's pretty tight to the Kijun Sen. And there we go. Not looking good. Maybe too tight to the baseline, but this is up to you for you to test and tweak. So, all right. Now we go to the part that everybody's waiting for. So, for the trailing stop, we need to add in two more variables. We have trail, and then we also have T check, which is the trail check. We need to assign these as variables. So just to explain the trailing stop is where so the first thing is break even. If the first trade or if it goes up to your supposedly one profit, then we go ahead and trail the stop and then we continue to trail it. So let us just load this. Let us just load the project, import a project. So load a project. So we just do the one that we were successfully do so we have a new working file. So this one is BE and trail. I can't type this morning. There you go. So we need to do this. So we need to do the T check. So this is the trailing check. So what we want to do is we want to make sure the trade happens. The trade happens. We have a stop loss and it trails. So right now we test the break even is that we would pull the stop up if the trade goes and hits TP1, which is 1 ATR. So that's the first thing we want to do. So the first thing is with here, we would go ahead and disable a take profit since we want to do a trailing stop on this one. So we go ahead and do that, click on the sell block. We also disable take profit. All right. So the next thing here is we want to just do so these two variables, this is more for a trailing stop. So this is the amount of the amount we want to trail by, which should equal the stop loss. Since we want to trail by the amount of stop loss as we go, the trail check is when we want the price to hit 2 times the ATL, so twice the level of the initial take profit, then we start trailing the trade a lot, trailing the stop up. So right now, what we'll do is, again, we'll just do buy side only, just to keep things simple, and we can always go ahead and close the loop on that one. So we would need to go and get some blocks. So the block that we would want to get is the pass block. So let's see. Yeah, it's down here. So what the pass block does, it just executes the items immediately. So once it goes there, it will go ahead and execute it. So we do pass, and then we have break even. So break even is that we want to do the break even point each trade. And here we go. So let's just make a group here, right click, create an area, make it look pretty. The pass, and then we'll connect it first. And then so we go into the break even point, each trade. What we want to do is we want to fix value. And once we hit TP, and so basically offset is you can want to do a pips offset. So this is like, for example, if you wanted to do one pip above break even, two above break even. But for now, let's not do anything for yet. We can always assign a constant or something, but to keep it simple, just say no commission offset, just break even. All right, we go ahead and export this and we should be good to go. Break even trail, we go to meta editor, break even trail, compile, looks like everything went okay. And then we go like this. We go here, BN trail, and we start. And we look for it. So this one broke even. Getting for a stop. And you see the buy just went and tagged up and went into break even once we hit that point. So basically now it's just waiting to come all the way back down to trigger because that's what the EA told it to do. So there we go. It all broke even, it trailed, and it went up. So that means right now the break even stop is successful. So this is where you just test the first leg and say, we are good for break even. So remember, we have this pass block and it does it as opposed to once per bar. We make sure that this happens consistently. So let's say if it was within that same bar, we went up and it will hit TP1 on the same bar, it trails it up to make sure that we lock in the profit. So the next part is that we would set the trailing stop, and that's based on ATR. So what we do here, so two other steps here. So on the modify variables, what we want to do is go down to variable free. We do trail. We want to make sure trail is the same as the stop loss. So we want to trail by the amount of the stop loss. And then the trail check. So in order to start trailing, we would do the trail check, and then we would do the amount that we want to trail by. This is the check, so we want to make sure price hits 2 times the initial take profit target to do that. So we would do is the star for multiply and 2. So we multiply that by 2. So this is where we do and so this part is the check what's the trailing stop amount. And then this part is what we would be doing. We would set the the check. So once it hits this level, then the trailing stop happens. So we update, and that's that part. And then we just do now we do trailing stop each trade. We go into here. We do stop loss, ask for buy, bid for sell, pips. We right click, and the trailing stop is we want to trail by the stop amount of stop loss. And the trailing step is this is for if you wanted to, for each pip it goes above, then we do the step, and then we do a trailing start, which is the profit threshold. So we want to do custom, pips, value, numeric, and we do the T check. So if you remember what we just did, the T check is double click on the block. The T check is we just assign this is the amount of the take profit value times 2 equals T check. So make sure it needs to be this before it does that. So we update and we update, and then we connect this block over here. And we'll test the logic and make sure it works. Here we go. Let's do B and trail as number 1. Bring over minute editor so I can show you. We double click on here, click F7, compiles, good to go. MetaTrader, B and trail 1. And now we play that again. And then let's look. Let's watch. And then so that trade that we saw before, that just went up. It'll keep going up, 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 up. Bingo. There you go. You saw that trailing, and up it went. So in 2 times ATR. So let's wait for it and see. It went 2 times ATR. It went up and kept trailing. Trail. And there we go. I think we're looking pretty good here. Well, we're nearly there on the test anyway, so might as well see it to the end. There we go. Went break even, trailed nicely. Trade didn't trigger. That would have been a nice chunk of profit. But yeah, you see, the break even kicked in and protected us from that loss. For fun, let's see the graph. Are we profitable? Are we not? Let's find out. We're in July, getting close. Report says we just lost $41. Anyways, so that's how you do it. This is the break-even point. That's the trailing stop. And go away and have fun.